So this is going to be my 3 4x4 walkthrough solves, and just a few things. I average around 32.5 on 4x4, and I use a Cosmic Ultra M from Speedcube Shop. I think these walkthrough solves are kind of more catered for those who already have a firm grasp of the OWL method and are averaging around 40 to 50 seconds. Some of you maybe find from elsewhere that sub 40 on 4x4 is roughly equivalent to sub 10 on 3x3, but just to reassure you, this is a pretty broad equivocation. I know I became sub 40 well before I was sub 10 on 3x3, and some months of stagnation after, which my 4x4 times went back up to over 40 seconds, while my 3x3 was already 9-ish. So it's more about the specific practice you do for each cue that makes you better at them, and there's, especially for 3x3 and 4x4, there's quite little correlation between your times for them. Alright, enough with this rambling, let's get into this. Alright, so I solve on white and yellow. Okay, so this yellow center is pretty easy, so I'll try to look ahead for my next center, which seems to be these two pieces and then these two. So I would turn this with a D prime, and then before I move this down, I'll just go up and grab this piece so that I can form my first bar on top. And then let's pair the centers, and then I more or less default to white cross most of the time. So first thing I see is these two orange pieces and also these two blue pieces. So I'll just solve those. And then I saw the green piece run down here, so I'll just take that. Alright, so first center, I see this green bar, I'll just tuck it to the left, move on. I see these two orange pieces and these two green ones, so I'll keep that in mind as I solve my green. And then I'll just bring the orange one that is over here. Solve the orange cross, center, and the red one. So my last cross hatch is going to be here, and I'll slice, insert, slice, and insert that. Okay, so I do a U and take note of this piece. It's over here, while also noticing that the corresponding piece to this one is also over here. And then I also note that this piece, the corresponding piece to this one is here, and I'll just insert that to the back. So that's 3 pairs done. So this one is here, which the corresponding piece is here, and then this one, and this two. Okay, so that was a pretty straightforward and easy case for your edges. I already have a pair fixed, so before I put those in, I was actually looking for my first pair, and it's this one. 3x3 stage is pretty self-explanatory. Alright, and before I solve that, you should be able to tell that there is OLL parity here, because this is the only one that's unoriented. This one is fine. COLL, PLL parity. Right, next. Scrambles will be in the description, but I can't guarantee that I scrambled these cubes correctly. Okay, so I could do white first. It's a little bit hard to see where the yellow pieces will go, but in those cases, I think it's quite important to know where most of them will end up after you finish your white center. And if you did your white center maybe from this position, all your yellow pieces will gather at the back around here. So it's quite important that you face this direction when you're doing your white center. So I'll solve it with something like this. Okay, then I'll put these two up first, and then these two. Alright, so these two, and then these two. So I see this green, well, I saw this green bar as I was doing those edges and I didn't see this. So I'll just finish the green one, I guess. Then solve the red. Solve orange. Right, then last cross edge. Do a U and take note of this piece, which, yeah, it lined up here. So what I'll do is just look at the piece behind and then start from there. So it's this one, and the corresponding edge is here. So I'll take it out, put it inside, and then this one already lines up, so it's fine. Then these two. Oh, and okay, so this is an interesting case. you get this, maybe, I'm not too sure of the odds, but around 20% of the time you get this, where you have two swaps. So these two need to exchange pieces and these two need to exchange pieces. And instead of doing, putting it in here where they're across from each other and doing two flips and then putting these two down and flipping them again, it's much better to have them diagonal from each other, as in like a checkerboard kind of thing. And then you form one, and then you just put a random, one of the unsolved edges inside. And then you slice back, and then now you have reached the 3 cycle. So these two go in, and then you put the corresponding piece for this one. So that's how you efficiently solve those two. And as I was doing that, I saw my first pair over here, and also these two. These two. Last pair, OLL. And this it's a J perm with PLL parity. So what you do when you have the block in the back, and like when you have the line on the left and the block in the back, what you want to do is PLL parity and then your J perm. Instead of doing your J perm here, then having a bad parity, or like doing something like this and then getting parity, because those aren't the nicest. Yeah. Alright, next. Okay, so I could solve either of the centers first. It was actually quite similar the way I solved them, because I mean they're more or less the same solution for both centers. Yeah, it's exactly the same actually. Okay, I'll just choose yellow then. Okay, so this one I'll move it out of the way. This one as well. Then pair those up, bring it down, and then I'll rotate here. Put this into the back, and then solve this. And as I saw that, as I'm doing this, I saw these two pieces. So I'll just track those and then do them straight away. Okay, so these two, and then these two. Okay, so I see blue and blue. And then I also took note of this orange part at the back, so I'll just solve that first. And then green and red. Okay, and then I also see these two, so before I slice, I'll just insert this piece over here. So when I slice, it's formed the edge. Okay, and I think it's quite important for, to get sub 40, I think it's quite important to be able to do your crosses on both white and yellow. And it really makes like free pairs all the more important, all the more useful. Okay, so for the edges, I see these two already line up. So what I'll do is just slice over, and then I'll continue with this edge and just use this. So this one's the red blue. Just take it, put it here, this one corresponds to this one. I found the last one for this piece and it's back here. Alright, so I also solved an edge here, so that was, I did 3, and then I had 1 already formed for me, and then the other one was free as well. So just take this piece and this piece, and then this one and this one corresponds. Right. That was actually a pretty straightforward solve. Alright, so those were my 3 walkthrough solves, and I hope you pick some stuff up that might help you get to sub 40. And thanks for watching. Bye.